Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video I want to talk about some of the awesome patch 8.1.5 PvP updates coming into World of Warcraft. Patch 8.1.5 is a good deal away, and we're still waiting for patch 8.1 to arrive first. But it doesn't sound to me like patch 8.1 is going to have crazy PvP changes. I can make a whole separate video about some of the lack of changes that a lot of people would love in patch 8.1, and I'll probably make a video about it. Things like PvP vendors I feel like would be reasonable, amongst other things. If you guys want me to make a video on that, let me know in the comments below. But in today's video, we'll be taking a look at some of the awesome updates coming in for patch 8.1.5. One of them is a visual and the other one is more of a conversation starter with a brand new brawl. And it kind of just makes me ask, is that the direction that the game could be going? I do apologize if you guys don't have any tin hats to put on, but let's dive into the video. First of all, they are updating the look of two of the most iconic battlegrounds in the game. And the idea is to make them as geographically relatable to the originals, like the ARATHI Basin and the WARSONG GULTCH, but to really spruce them up and give them a whole brand new look. What that means is when you're running in the current ARATHI Basin as an alliance and you're trying to get to Lumbermill, the geography of the map shouldn't feel that different. You shouldn't need to run further, and you shouldn't have any kind of weird bumps and hills that might change your experience of that battleground. So there shouldn't be any kind of weird balancing, like for example, the Horde has an easier time getting to Blacksmith compared to the Alliance or anything like that. But visually, Blizzard definitely spruced up. I absolutely love the way ARATHI Basin looks. It really has that very much BFA overhaul to the general look and design, which visually it looks very pleasing. It kind of reminds me of ARATHI once your faction or the enemy faction holds it for Warfronts, how they spruced up the whole zone, that it feels very similar to the original, but yet somehow a little more defined and a little bit more high def. I think it's a really good idea for Blizzard to go back and do this for some of the battlegrounds, because with every new battleground, like the last one being Seething Shore, that battleground looks absolutely gorgeous. Because I remember complaining about some of the Warlords General architecture that it has and how I hated Warlords General, but definitely the quality of the textures in the map looked absolutely amazing and definitely not anything to knock against. And then we have WARSONG GULTCH, and god, the Horde Fortress looks absolutely amazing. The Alliance side of the BG doesn't look that much different to me. I feel like it's just a high quality version of what they already had. But the Horde Fortress and the Horde side of it, I don't know what it is, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Let me know your thoughts about the updates and what other battlegrounds do you think Blizzard could work on next after these brand new versions of these BGs come out. I do wonder if there's going to be anybody who will play those new versions of the same BGs we love and say that they actually prefer the originals, because it does look like there's certain parts and certain ways to approach inside of these buildings that will be around that might be a little bit more spacious. Some of them might have more than one entry point, and I wonder if those small details will be enough to make some people a little bit more turned off from the whole experience. Let me know all that in the comments below. Alright, time for the main topic, and this is where I'm going to ask a lot of you guys to put your tinfoil hats on, because I want to talk a bit about the new brawl they announced way back in BlizzCon. Blizzard decided to utilize their brand new AI technology to make a brand new brawl called the ARATHI Comp Stomp Brawl, and you're basically going to be playing against computer AI in a BG brawl. Now, at the core of the idea of using AI, those type of AI that are different from your regular ads in a raid or a dungeon that have threat tables to them, those AI, whether you will see them in Warfronts or whether you'll see them in the islands, for example, they play slightly different. They're not quite exactly an NPC that will be taunted if you taunt them as a tank. Instead, they'll actually try to decide who is the more deadly target. Could it be this warrior beating me, or could it be the healer maintaining this warrior's health? And they might be able to CC the warrior and swap to the healer. So I feel like it makes overall for an interesting encounter. And in the same breath, I would have to say that I'm generally excited about the utilization of that type of AI technology in much harder content. Blizzard stated during BlizzCon they're willing to utilize this type of AI in future heroic warfronts. For the longest time, I've always wanted warfronts to feel like its own content. Not quite exactly like a raid, not exactly a PvP battleground, but something in between with different types of currency, different types of goals to achieve, and different ways to play it. In a raid, you're all trying to defeat a boss by applying DPS and moving around to mechanics and cycling cooldowns for when certain phases of the fight happen. In PvP, it's all about communication and synergy with other players, being able to take key points and being able to move around to be able to capture points, defend points, and outplay the enemy. But in a warfront, you have this like MOBA-esque build up your army system where you manage a resource and you're trying to manage the position of your allies. It's kind of like a raid, but you have a PvP mindset for that raid. Potentially, I believe that this could make some insanely good content and actually very enjoyable. This I even feel like could be something that people would want to get together for and grind decent loot for. So the integral part of the heroic warfront is also how the AI work. They're not exactly like a raid boss that'll just, you know, once a tank taunts him, he'll just focus on the tank. They will actually kind of try to think for themselves. I mean, an enemy that will actually try to, let's say, hex your tank so they can get to the backline where the squishy healer is at, I mean, it gives you a different type of playstyle and different type of experience. I think it's unique, I think it's interesting, and for Blizzard to make an AI that plays in such a manner, I feel can offer a very unique experience in an MMORPG in a sense like we haven't really seen before, like a smarter version of AI that allows you to play a little bit different. Like for example, in a raid fight, most of the CC that your character has, you can't really go polymorph a boss, but in a warfront, you could utilize abilities that are crowd control based in order to help you win, so it's like a different type of a raid. So Blizzard wants to add this into Battlegrounds, and I guess there's two ways that I look at it, because I am actually perfectly fine with harder AI being added in some like warfronts. I feel like it could spice up the whole experience of a warfront and make the event a lot more enjoyable and the rewards a lot more interesting. But the idea of having this kind of AI in an actual battleground, for a brawl I could see it, but usually Blizzard likes to add these brawls to, I think, see how the players react. Maybe they'll want certain brawls to eventually become battlegrounds. It's like a petri dish. Like, who of you would not want to play on snowy ARATHI Basin? It is literally one of the best brawls they've ever created, as well as Deep 6. To change a BG where instead of having a full party of 10 or 15, it is down to 6 key players, and I feel like it adds a bit more of a competitive aspect to the gameplay. So this is where the tinfoil hat part comes in. With World of Warcraft where it's at, and some of the complaints that have been around PvP, like for example where the factions are definitely skewed towards Horde favor when it comes to war mode, and not as many alliance play, and Horde needs someone to play against, maybe Blizzard will eventually make this a mode so people can actually get their PvP rewards, but they won't have to PvP against players. Trust me, I know it is super weird, but I didn't think Diablo would come out as a mobile game, and look what happened there. So to mention everything, I am super happy with the AI system. I like it, and I think it's new and unique. I think it definitely has a bit more to improve, but I like it as a general idea. It has a very interesting concept behind it, and what it can offer to a game like World of Warcraft that's been around for a while is something insane. However, I feel like if you were to put something like this in a PvP scenario, if it's just a fun brawl, that's fine. But what if it becomes a actual mode for PvP? I think it could be potentially hot garbage. It just gives me that feeling that this game is becoming less interactive between player to player, and I guess in a sense less social. Then again, a game like MMO, you don't really have too many social crowds, but when you find a guild and you can get a good bunch of friends from there to raid with, I feel like it's a lot more enjoyable than somebody just doing solo lone wolf type of deal and actually sticking to LFR and LFG. But I feel like there is a good chunk of the community that actually likes the idea of LFR, even though there's a lot of people, there's a lot of us that would rather see it gone completely from the game. I guess my concern overall with this would be, though, is the fact that the AI system could maybe muddy a little bit of what the current PvP system is. I would want it to really be mostly players versus players. I really hope that Blizzard isn't going to take it into a direction. I love the AI being added into some sort of this PvE/PvP mixed experience, but I wouldn't want to see this as a mode in the future. Then again, once I give this brawl a try whenever it is available, maybe my mind will change. Maybe these NPCs will be a lot harder than players and a lot smarter than players. So in a sense, it could be like a way for people to maybe even practice how to PvP. And to get into some situations where you would see NPCs acting like players. So it could be like a stepping stone to get them into actual PvP. So it feels like the longer I'm making this video, the more I'm trying to find a positive out of this, what I was originally perceived as like a negative. So I guess that's where I'm just gonna leave it up to you guys. I just kind of want to put my thoughts in a video and let you guys just hear it all out. Overall, I guess a few questions. I think the new BG looks amazing, or I guess the new updates to the two battlegrounds, Warsong Gulch and ARATHI Basin, look absolutely fantastic. I love the idea of the AI technology, but I'm not quite sure exactly of the benefits it would have for a possible PvP scenario. And then in the video, I literally just went and said what it could potentially do. I guess I'm just gonna leave it off to you. So to wrap it up as a question, AI in BGs, should that ever be a mode for you to experience, as long as they, you know, function kind of like players? And what if it was a little bit difficult to identify between a real player and an AI? Would it still be acceptable for you? Would that be something you would be into as a potential future thing? Let me know in the comments below. I'm actually excited to try this out as a brawl. I am interested to see how it will go, but I guess that's really it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be doing more stuff and updates for the next patches. If you guys got any ideas of what you would want me to cover for videos, please let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to make these type of discussion videos. My name is Dalaran, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one.